here, and let's get into the news. We're gonna start with Halo. Okay. I left Xenoblade last. I think
that's the right thing. That's the right thing to do.
Yeah, I kind of figured you'd have more to say on that, and we'd probably spend more than like 2 seconds on it. So, I got Halo here. I just found this article a few days ago. Somebody said there was a leak on Discord. A Tatanka game mode. There was a Tatanka game mode settings up, and it's a new mode named after a wrestler who famously won a big battle royale during his career. So, I think that's just enough information, plus just knowing where the money and market's at, that it makes way too much sense to have a battle royale in Halo. I'm sure some people don't like it, but guess what? That makes money. And you can make a lot of money off that if you implement it correctly. So this is just me looking through it there, and here are the kind of things listed in the settings. So respawn in a drop pod setting, and respawn tokens, which is something from Apex Legends and Fortnite, kind of took that as well. Sudden death settings, where at a certain point there will be no more respawns. Shrinking circle, you know that from any battle royale. Bleed out and execution mechanics, that's from Apex and Warzone. Fortnite doesn't have that, actually. The execution mechanic, excuse me, is one thing that they don't really have. And then there's just like a bunch of other things that were detailed out here. It's going to happen. It's just a matter of when they're actually going to push the button to deploy it. Boom, Halo Battle Royale.
I mean, I was kind of expecting it to be in the game at release, so not really surprised at all that this is being made, and let's be honest, it's probably taking up the majority of the dev time right now, because we're seeing, again, there's like 2 new maps, and from what we saw today, like 3 new modes being added in Season 2. And, you know, Forge and co-op campaign were delayed till who the fuck knows.
Yep.
And yeah, I think they're focusing on Battle Royale because that will actually make them money. So, yeah.
Of course it will. Of course it will. I'm not surprised. I think we talked about this before, even before Halo was coming out. The expectation was there's going to be a Battle Royale. That was what I expected. So, just the fact that it's coming out at some point, I'm not shocked. I'm also not shocked that things got delayed, because I'm sure they put more people in to focus on this. Because co-op, like releasing co-op doesn't really make you more money compared to this, so kind of makes some sense.
Most people who have played the campaign, who were planning on playing the campaign, have played the campaign already.
Played it, yeah. They're
maybe they'll come back and play it again when co-op comes out with a friend, maybe, but maybe not.
Yeah, it's hard to know. So anyway, just Halo Infinite Battle Royale's details are leaking, and somebody just could not keep the lid on that. So we're gonna see that. I imagine we'll see this maybe for Season 3, assuming they shorten up the seasons. I think I'll see it Season 3. If not, if the season's long again, maybe halfway through Season 2. I would guess that we're gonna see that at that point.
So sometime over the summer.
Yeah, that's what I would guess. I would guess sometime over the summer is when we're gonna see that, and then I think in the fall we'll see co-op. I think it's gonna be pushed all the way into the fall, because they're just like, well, this isn't a high priority. Anyway,
I mean, hope. I mean, you know, it's Battle Royale. If they do it well in Halo, it could be popular. Obviously, Battle Royale is like relatively saturated right now with Fortnite, Warzone, and Apex all taking your share of the market. But, you know, maybe Halo can sneak in there. We'll see.
Yeah, it depends on how it's implemented. I'm with you. I'd be very curious to see how it's implemented. I mean, it could work. Like, it could work for sure. I mean, the mechanics in the game that are in there right now are good for a battle royale to be plopped in, given some extra updates. So it could work. Just a question of how it works, you know. So we'll see. I'm gonna say we'll see. Okay. Nintendo hit with labor complaint. An unnamed worker is alleging that Nintendo, and a firm it is using for hiring contractors, violated their legally protected right to unionize. I'm just reading this first paragraph, and the first thing I think is like, okay, what a shock.
Yeah.
What a shock. Of course they're going to stop you from doing that. Like, well, I don't even have to read anything else. Like, I'm sorry, but it's just obvious that Nintendo or anybody is going to do that. They're going to block a unionization effort. And even when you unionize, like Raven did, right? Remember, you talked about this before, Raven with Activision. They unionize, and new Activision stuff is excluding Raven. So even if you unionize, they're going to exclude you as much as possible. So I'm just, of course, they're going to stop a union from trying to be created. And of course, even if it was, they're going to exclude you from everything they can. So I have nothing to say other than what a shock. Spoon.
Yeah, no, I don't have much to say either. You know, it's, you know, not surprising. Big companies generally don't like unions because that means they have to, you know, treat their workers better and give them benefits and pay them better. And, you know, they don't want to do that. So, yeah, and this was kind of like, this wasn't like a real, like, I'm not going to say it's unofficial, but, you know, it was kind of like it was like kind of one guy saying this. This wasn't like a huge news item, I guess I'll say, you know. It hasn't blown up yet, we'll say that. So we'll see where it goes, if there was anything to this, or if it was just kind of a, you know, kind of there type of thing. So just
to keep an eye on it kind of thing. Got it. Keep an eye on it. Okay. Our next item, the Sonic one, actually has more to it. I don't have the rest of it. So apparently there's also like a bunch of like additions.
Yeah, they had a bunch of like tiers or something like that. Let me see.
Oh, here it is. Oh God. Okay.
Yeah,
let's just
chart was freaking awful.
Okay. So Sonic Origins arrives June 23rd, 2022. To put it simply, this is just them remastering a bunch of their games. And by a bunch, I think they're doing like what, four, yeah. 4 remaster titles. I imagine 1, 2, 3, and another one. I missed one of the other ones in between there. There was 4 though. You can play as all the characters, I assume, for every single game. I assume that there's just better support for like 60 frames per second kind of thing. I see no difference in the graphics whatsoever, other than the fact that it just looks sharp because it's updated for
HD.
Nowadays. Yeah, because it's HD. That's really about it. So apparently there's some new like animated stuff in it. Okay, so there's Sonic Origins. Here's the disaster. Oh God, I feel bad for whoever had to make this. They're probably like, I'm so confused, because I'm already extremely confused. Okay, let's just start with the standard game. The standard game gives you the main game. Fantastic. There's also a Start Dash Pack, which is a free DLC included with pre-order of Standard or Deluxe Edition, which comes with 100 bonus coins. I'm so scared. What does this bonus coins mean? I'm so scared.
I mean, this sounds like some microtransaction bullshit.
I'm so scared.
They're gonna put like, what the hell are coins? I don't know.
Mirror mode, letterbox background. Okay. Premium Fun Pack. Hard missions are unlocked in this one. It's not the main game. Letterbox background. Character animation in the main menu. Camera controls over the main menu islands. Character animations during music islands. There's also a music pack, which is just additional music. And then there's the digital deluxe version, which gives you the main game, hard missions, not the letterbox background. Why?
Well, but if you thing is, if you pre-order the digital deluxe edition, you get the Start Dash Pack, which does include the letterbox background.
So if you don't pre-order it, but just purchase it a day later, you don't get those other ones.
Yeah. So if you pre-order Digital Deluxe Edition, you get everything.
Okay.
Just like out of the box. That's what I'm reading, at least.
If you get the standard edition, you get the game, but then you have to buy a bunch of other crappy packs.
Yeah, if you pre-order standard edition, you get the standard edition and the thing in the second to the left column. But then you'd have to buy the premium fun pack and the classic music pack if you wanted everything.
I'm so scared about this coin.
This is stupid.
No, this is horrible. This is stupid. I'm so scared. I see coins. Why are we doing this in a Sonic game? Yeah, this thing is really hard to understand. I'm so confused. Spoon, what do you think?
Yeah, this is awful. It's just like they're just trying to nickel and dime you out the wazoo.
We don't know the prices of any of this either, by the way.
They're trying to get you to what are the prices? Maybe we can see it on Steam or something. Okay.
Yeah, if you really need to put on like a magnifying glass, get a degree.
So the base game is $40, $39.99.
Okay.
The digital deluxe is only $5 more. It's $44.99, so $45.
Why wouldn't you just get the digital deluxe edition in any case then?
I mean, you know, maybe the extra stuff that they're adding like isn't that much. I'm not sure, but yeah, this chart is stupid. This, you know, pre-order DLC on not on, it's no disc, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
On disc DLC crap. Like, also, what the hell? They want you to have 8 gigabytes of RAM for this? Okay. I mean,
why?
I know most computers have that these days, but it's freaking Sonic Remaster. Are you kidding me? The thing ran on the Genesis. Like
I don't understand that one. The frick. Yeah, this is horrible. This is a really bad graphic. This is one of those cases. I'm like, a picture speaks more than 1,000 words. It's like 1,000,000 words, and you're just like, what the hell? Why'd you put this like? Why'd you make this graphic like this? This is a horrible graphic. That's why I feel bad for the person who made it, because I'm sure somebody told them make it look like this. They're like, okay. Anyway.
Yeah, and this, like, again, this coin, like 100 bonus coins, this just sounds like a bullshit microtransaction currency that, like, I don't know what that means, but it scares me. And
yep, I don't like it. I don't like seeing that. I'm scared. Anyway.
Also, I don't know, 40, like, okay.
40?
I know it's 4 games, but, like, these are 30-year-old games. 25 to 30-year-old games.
No, these are
$40 seems a little freaking steep to me. I'm like, this should be like 20 or 30 tops.
Yeah, this one being 30 or 40. Sorry, 40. It sounds like much. I think 30 would have been reasonable. I say reasonable meaning like, yeah, it's probably that's like the top level, right?
They're remastered to include micro. Yeah, I think it should have been like 25 for the standard and 30 for the deluxe or whatever. If they're doing that.
That would have been, I think, fine. 40 is like $10 per one of those games. Remastered, kind of tough. I don't know. That's a tough one. Like 40. Somebody said, okay, $10 per game. Okay, but I think that is like a pretty high price tag. 30 might have been the better top end price tag for that, but
yeah.
It's not Sonic... gonna get this, but
no. I mean, I'm not a huge Sonic fan or anything, so yeah, it's Sonic 1, 2, and 3, and Sonic CD is the 4th game.
Oh, so. Sonic CD. Okay, yeah, that one. Those other 3 you could just freaking find anywhere, frankly. Sonic CD. Actually trying to play that without an emulator would be interesting. Those other ones, yeah, sure. I'm just saying that's funny. Anyway, I don't know.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
hate
know anything.
any time a game comes out and they have one of those charts for like the editions. Everyone's just like, please no, just don't do this. Like this sucks.
This one's bad. There are some charts that I think are fairly reasonable. Like if it's just like standard deluxe and you just show what they get, just those two. It's reasonable when somebody does that. There's 5 things on here. And I got so confused with the digital deluxe edition and the start dash pack. Like I was so confused with that before you told me. That's the one that confused me the most. I don't get it. I think if there was just 2 games, when there's those charts and there's only like 2 games, you can make an argument. It's like, okay, it's a nice way to visualize what you get, but this one is horrible. That's a bad one. I don't like that one.
Yeah.
One bit.
So again, if you just want, like, if you're gonna get this and you want everything with all the DLC on that chart, just pre-order the digital deluxe and you're gonna get everything that's listed on that chart. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Well, that was Sonic Origins. I didn't have any other news stuff before Xenoblade, frankly. I think I pulled everything that I could. Did I miss something?
So I didn't put it in the doc, so that's my fault. But there was a couple new things from today that I posted. There was the new Outriders thing.
Oh God!
I mean, yeah.
I have very little to say. My only thing to say is, why'd you wait? Why'd you wait a full year to do that? That's all I have to say. It's stupid. Stupid idea. Somebody at Square really needs to think about their planning processes. Why the game Outriders is completely dead. It'll probably bring some people back. This DLC should have come out 3 months after the game released, at the very worst case. Yeah. You know, Tiny Tina's Wonderland has a DLC coming out soon already. That game came out recently.
I think it's out already.
It's already out. Like,
holy hell! What?
There's a DLC for Tiny Tina's already.
Yeah, I know that.
Like, that's crazy. Outriders got a DLC a year later. Well, yeah, that's bad. So, what's the let me find the Outriders DLC thing. Outriders DLC.
Yeah, this DLC is $40.
Yeah, I don't like this article. Let's pick a simpler article. Okay. Here's the Outriders thing. Outriders is back with a bang with a big new DLC. Releases June 30th. What is in the Outriders Worldslayer DLC? The new villain... Oh boy. Okay. New story. The new campaign will take you to new environments and pit you against new enemies, including a superpowered boss by the name of Ereshkigal. We'll dive more into detail about the alien nature of the planet Enoch and the history of the world itself. Adds loads of new gear, almost 100 new legendary items, with each different character class receiving 2 new 5-piece legendary armor sets. You'll be able to explore subclass specializations with the PAX class tree being added. We'll link the 3 to the 3 existing classes and allow you to tinker. Okay. Ascension points. There are 200 of these points in total. You'll be able to use them to upgrade your hero's brutality. Okay. In our Apocalypse tiers to replace the challenge tiers. 3rd mod slot. New endgame. It should have came out 9 months ago.
Yeah.
Just all I have to 9 months ago. This is 9 months too late.
Yeah, I'm with you. I just like don't understand that this game was like relatively well received when it came out, and then it just they did a couple of post-release patches, and then there was literally no communication about the game from the dev team, from Square, anything at all after like maybe a month or 2 after the game came out. And they also pretty much said like, yep, this was meant to be a self-contained, non-live service, no DLC, type game. Like, we just made it, put it out there, maybe we'll patch a little bit and we're done. And now it's been just about a year since the game's come out, maybe a little bit more than that. It was in April last year. I don't remember what day, but yeah. It's been about a year. And now they're like, oh, by the way, we're releasing a new DLC in June. Yeah, this doesn't come out for another 2 months still, so at the end of June. They're like trying to revive Outriders, I guess, because maybe that Square realized that the game was actually popular and they should make DLC for it, but I don't know why it's taking this long.
Right.
Like, I feel like maybe, yeah, they just needed to crank some stuff out faster, maybe just piecemeal this a little bit more, as opposed to, like, this looks like a relatively sizable DLC and update, and it is... Yep. It is, base price of it on Steam is $40. It's 10% off if you pre-order it, so it's $36.
Okay.
And then they have a bundle to buy both the base game and the DLC together, which is $80. But if you pre-order it and as a bundle, it's down. It's a third off, so it's $54 if you get that.
Okay.
So that's like a relatively good deal, but that's if you don't already own the base game.
Right.
But yeah, I agree with you. It's just like, this game was dead for like 10, 11 months basically, and now they're like, alright, Outriders is coming back, play it again. And I mean, you know, maybe people will come back and check it out. We'll see, but you know, we didn't even get through the base game, so...
We didn't. Yeah. We just didn't. Square is the most confusing company when it comes to non-Final Fantasy content. They're so confusing. They've got
anything that's not like a kind of standard JRPG. Yeah, I just don't know what they're doing.
They just don't know what they're doing. They just don't know. They screwed up Marvel's Avengers because they just forced it to be something it probably shouldn't have been. They underestimated Guardians of the Galaxy because Marvel's Avengers didn't do well, which was a mistake. And with Outriders, Outriders should have been... It should have had a DLC. It just
should have been what Avengers was. It should have been an actual live service game, but they didn't plan for that, and... Yeah.
I can't imagine what the conversation was like at Square and the developer on this one. They're like, oh, people can fly. Sorry, the developers, people can fly. So, I just can't imagine. They're like, hey, it's been about 8 months. Can we do a DLC now? And people can fly are like, okay, sure. But it's been kind of a while. And Square's like, yeah, but you know, the game was a surprise when it came out, so maybe we can like fire that back up again. Square, like, you need to figure your shit out. They're so bad at non-JRPG titles like this. You just gotta figure it out. Like, if a game like Outriders does well in its first month, you immediately greenlight a DLC to be done in the next 2 to 3 months. That's just like your first thing. It doesn't even have to be a big one. This is just like the first thing you do, because the game is popular. It's like, okay, we got a lot of popularity. Things need to be fixed. Let's just, okay. It should have taken them 2 weeks to realize that a DLC should have come out, not 9 months. It's just like the worst planning possible. 2 things I can think of are, one, there was no budget for this game to have a DLC until the next fiscal year. That's the only thing I can think of beyond just pure stupidity. So, that's all I'm thinking. Maybe they're just like, we don't have a budget for a DLC, but if you wait 9 months, we'll have one.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, what the fuck? Where was your DLC at the game? Like, where was your budget at the release? Why didn't you plan for that? Even if the dev was like, no, it's a standalone thing, Square should have been like, okay, we understand that, but we're gonna think about a DLC. Just think about it. You're the publisher. You have to make those decisions. Square is an incredibly confusing company when it comes to these kinds of things. I just don't understand. They're so good with their Final Fantasy titles most of the time, like 90% of the time. They're so good.
The games aren't always great, to be honest, but they're good at marketing them.
Exactly.
And it's Final Fantasy. It has the name brand. People buy them whether they're good or not, basically. So it doesn't really matter.
And with their other JRPG titles, they do a good job with them. They know the audience, what they want. They know how to deal with that audience. It's like they're really good at that. They really are. Octopath was a Square game, right?
Yeah.
Great job marketing that game the right way.
Octopath, Triangle, Kingdom Hearts,
Right.
Final Fantasy.
They do a good job marketing those things. Kingdom Hearts, they do a great job with that. That was a great series. Great series. They immediately get a Marvel contract and they just fumble the ball. They butt fumble. They immediately butt fumbled.
They butt fumbled it.
They just immediately butt fumbled it. And you're just like, you have Marvel. Like, why don't you just make an action RPG with Marvel? And somebody probably said that at first, and then they said, no, we're gonna do a looter game.
Yep.
And people are like, okay, but the looting mechanics were horrible. And Guardians of the Galaxy was what should have been Marvel's Avengers was, and that game did that game had a lot of positive critical, was positively received from critics, and they're like, we're not going to market this thing at all. And now they have Outriders. They're like, let's just sit on our asses for like 6 months, and then we'll decide to make a DLC. Well, the game's already, it's over. People are going to come back to it, sure, but it's like,
yeah, I think some people will, but
you had a massive audience on release, and it's just like, what are you doing?
And they could have at least said, like, okay, what it seemed like at release was that there was not going to be any more content for this game.
Right.
They could have at least said, like, okay, hey, we hear you, we're going to work on a DLC. It may take a while, like it may take 6 months to a year for us to make this DLC, so hang tight, but at least let it be known that we are going to work on a DLC at some point. But they literally went radio silent for like a year, and all of a sudden they're like, there's a DLC for Outriders now.
It's like, it's been a year, man. Like, what were you doing? Say something. Outriders is a disappointment. We didn't finish it, but I didn't hate it or anything. It's just, I think we just got, like, other things came out, and it's just like, we just put it down.
Yeah, we got busy, other things came out, and like the gameplay was pretty fun, but it was a little buggy. Well, for one, my computer, that was when I had my old computer, and it really didn't run.
Yeah,
it didn't run it very well. I crashed. Like, I crashed sometimes, and it took forever to load, and it was kind of a pain. The story also, just some of the little things with it, the million loading screens with the
I'm with you.
And the story was omega lol.
I ignored it. Completely ignored it.
So bad.
I completely ignored it. I did not care at all. I did not care at all.
And there were a few enemy types that I found really unfun to fight.
True.
I remember.
I agree with that too. I do remember a couple of fights where we're just like pulling our hair out.
But yeah, generally the gameplay was pretty fun.
Well, it was fine. Yeah, it was fine. It's just should have had a DLC 3 months after release or something. Like
3 to like 6 months max, like 3 to 6 months. 6 is a lot still, but
if it's a big DLC, I think 6 is somewhat reasonable, and you have like little updates in between. But
yeah, like ideally you'd want like 3 to 4 months after release. You could have a pretty sizable DLC out.
Yeah, you could have a decent one. Yeah. What a disappointment! Outriders is just disappointing. This is disappointing. Poorly managed road mapping and decision making. It's like, oh yeah, we're not going to do anything. Sure. 9 months later, we should do something. He's like,
yep.
Really? Anyway, other things that did we miss anything else on that?
The only other thing that I posted was they just had an announcement of what the new modes were for the Halo update.
Oh right. Yeah.
It's King of the Hill.
Okay. Okay.
Let's see.
Is that an arena mode? King of the Hill's arena mode?
King of the Hill.
It's a 4v4 mode?
Yeah, I think so.
4v4 mode? Okay.
Instead of having... It's going to be a little bit different, though. New hill will spawn when the previous one is captured. So the hill will rotate.
Yep.
At least a little bit.
Makes sense.
Last part, Spartans Standing, which is a free-for-all mode.
Okay.
12 players spawn on a big team battle map with a confined loadout and just 5 respawns each.
Okay,
So you have
and
a certain number of lives. It also works like apparently there's some like gun game mechanics to it. So if you like get a kill, you'll get a better gun after you get a kill.
Oh, you get like a random new gun.
I don't know if it's
that's
random,
better,
but
you'll just get a better one.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then land grab is the third mode. New mode, like territories from Halos 2 and 3. Fight to capture various neutral zones that appear around the map. First team to capture two. I mean, that sounds kind of similar to King of the Hill, but
that sounds
like I don't.
There's a big team mode that's like that too. Are they just bringing it to 4v4? I'm just so confused.
I don't know.
Yeah, weird.
I'm not entirely sure, but yeah.
Yeah, there's like one for big team though. That's like you capture a bunch of territories and you get like a point for it. I don't know. Weird. Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
It sounds great. We need new modes and things to keep the game fresh. Like I played Halo Infinite a couple days ago for like 30 minutes to an hour, and like it's it's still fun, but it's like you realize, oh, this is just like nothing's changed.
Yeah,
nothing has changed.
It's literally been the same thing for 5 months, almost 6 months now.
Yeah, and I'm just like, okay, well, can we get something else? I was pretty far in the battle pass too. I'm like level 73 in it, so like I can't finish it anymore. But I just like I have no desire to even want to finish it. Like even if I had the time to want to, I just have no desire. Like
Yeah,
the game's still fun, like I enjoy it, but God help me, it just has nothing has changed for me. Anyway, okay, let's shift gears.